Clay soil can feel like nature's brick wall. It's sticky when wet, hard when dry, and a challenge even for seasoned growers. But long before modern soil conditioners and lab-made amendments, ancient cultures found ways to thrive on this heavy, dense earth. The key wasn't to fight the clay, it was to partner with it. Through a carefully crafted mix of organic matter, ash, and fermented plant material, indigenous farmers transformed stubborn soil into fertile ground. Today, science is catching up to what these growers knew instinctively. Clay soil isn't dead, it's just asleep, and the right mix can wake it up. In this Botanical Bliss guide, you'll learn how to create that ancient blend, how to apply it to your garden or raised bed, and why it works so well for both fertility and structure. Whether you're growing herbs, vegetables, or perennials, this formula revives soil biology, balances moisture, and allows roots to finally breathe. Clay soil holds nutrients better than sandy soil, but its microscopic particles also compact easily. Water has trouble draining, roots have trouble spreading, oxygen becomes scarce. Over time, this suffocates plants and stalls microbial life, the very foundation of healthy growing systems. So, this is why typical compost alone isn't enough. Sure, it adds nutrients, but it doesn't really open up the structure of the soil. That's where this ancient mix comes in. It layers nutrients with aeration and microbial triggers, giving clay the full package it needs to become living, breathing earth again. Here's what traditional growers used. Adapted for today's backyard garden. Compost acts as the nutritional base. It adds organic matter and inoculates soil with beneficial microbes. Then aged manure supplies nitrogen and feeds decomposers. Cow, horse, or sheep manure that's been composted for at least 6 months is ideal. Next, crushed wood chips or composted sawdust add carbon structure. This helps keep the mix airy while feeding fungi that break down clay bonds. Peat moss or coconut coir improves moisture balance. It softens the soil and allows for better aeration and water flow. And wood ash, this one's optional, adds potassium and trace minerals, helps raise pH slightly, and is a nod to ancestral fire-based farming. Now, just a quick heads up, this isn't a recipe you just dump into your bed all at once. It's really about rebuilding the soil ecosystem, layer by layer. Okay, so here's the ratio for the ancient clay mix. For every 10 square feet of bed space, you'll want to mix 2 parts well-finished compost, 2 parts aged manure, 1 part wood chips or sawdust, pre-composted if you can swing it, 1 part peat moss or coir, and just a handful of wood ash. No more than 1 cup for every 10 square feet. You can mix all this up in a wheelbarrow if you're prepping for raised beds, or, if you're working in ground, just layer it right on your bed and gently fork it in. Simple as that. For raised beds that have a clay soil base, you'll want to start by adding a bottom layer of sticks or rough woody debris. This really helps with drainage. Next, alternate layers of the ancient mix with some good garden soil. And finally, top it all off with a layer of mulch. Shredded leaves or straw work beautifully here to help retain moisture and support those helpful worms. For backyard clay patches or rows, the first step is to use a broad fork or just loosen the soil to break up any compaction. Then, mix in the ancient blend directly, focusing on the top 6 to 8 inches of soil. After that, water deeply to settle everything in and give those microbes a chance to activate. And don't forget to mulch afterward to protect the new soil structure. So, why does this mix work so well? Well, the compost and manure feed the soil life, which is super important. The wood elements feed fungi, and those fungi go on to build glomalin, a kind of glue-like substance that helps create those nice soil crumbs. The peat or coir balances water and keeps the clay from recompacting. And even though it's just a small amount, the ash brings in trace minerals that modern soils often lack. Together, these components don't just improve the soil, they actually transform it into a sponge-like, life-filled, humus-building foundation. Within a few weeks of applying this mix, you'll notice better drainage, easier root penetration, and signs of surface-level biological activity. Worms return, mulch decomposes faster, and, plants grow deeper and greener. Bonus: inoculate with ancient brews. For even faster revival, water your amended beds with compost tea or a homemade fermented plant juice. These liquids jumpstart the microbial network and signal the soil that it's time to wake up. Here's a simple brew you can try. Just take a handful of comfrey or stinging nettle, add 1 tablespoon of molasses, and mix it with 1 gallon of non-chlorinated water. Let that sit for about 2 to 3 days, then pour it around your plants or directly into your amended soil. This, actually mirrors the indigenous practice of feeding the soil spirits with plant infusions. And honestly, you'll start to see the results within just a few days. Once your clay soil starts to shift, your main job is to, keep up the momentum. Keep feeding it with seasonal compost, mulch regularly, and make sure to rotate cover crops like clover or mustard. That way, you'll help loosen those deeper layers over time. Avoid overworking the soil or walking on garden beds, as that can quickly recompact the clay. Instead, think like the ancients. Work with nature, not against it. Observe how rainwater pools or drains. Notice how soil smells or resists your tools. The soil is always talking. Final thoughts: ancient wisdom, modern soil revival. What our ancestors buried wasn't just waste, it was wisdom. They knew the soil was alive and that certain ingredients, when layered with care, could awaken entire ecosystems. Today we call it soil science, but centuries ago it was simply stewardship. This ancient mix doesn't just fix clay soil, it reconnects you to the rhythm of real gardening, where every handful of earth tells a story, and every plant grows from more than just nutrients. It grows from balance. Try it once, and you'll never look at your garden the same way again. If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share botanical bliss with fellow gardeners. There's ancient knowledge buried all around us. We just need to uncover it.